everybody, welcome to Ken Knows Gambling, and today I wanted to put out a video. Let's call it a clarification video, if you will. I had enough comments that I think I need to. I've replied to all the comments and explained it, but I thought I'd just go ahead and do it like this. Yesterday, I put out the AMC 117. Okay, it's a brand new strategy of mine. I created it, and it's got some little twist to it. Most people can follow it, but I noticed I was watching John over on his new site over there. What is that? Casino Gaming TV, I believe, and he did something today, and he talked about it. And I think I went live with Jeff over at Mid-Atlantic Craps. He had a live craps chat, and I was on there, and we were on there for a long time. And I was explaining it to him, and I think there's some intrigue to it. But nonetheless, like John was saying, he tried to break it last night, and he couldn't. But he's going to roll it out in a night or two. I think he's going to start doing some nighttime practice sessions, and he said he normally don't roll people's strategies, and I appreciate John for even trying to do it, but his goal with it is to try to break it, and that's what you do with strategies, right? You try to break them, and probably in the next couple of days I'm going to get out there and try to break it myself. Now, that being said, I've had some comments that, folks have said, oh, that's pretty aggressive. Yes, it is. I had one fella says, man, I'm used to you being the conservative, safe guy. And I am. And so people are wondering why in the hell I would create a strategy like that. So I need to put this to rest once and for all. I didn't necessarily create it for me. I didn't necessarily create it for the safe and conservative craps gambler. That's really not really what was in my head. What was in my head was, first of all, creating. I haven't even tried to create a new strategy in 20 years. I just haven't, because a lot of everything that we see are just little mixes of things we've seen our whole lives. But I wanted to try to create something completely different, if I could. But I created it more for the folks that are dice influencers, dice controllers, if you will. Lord knows I'm not one. I mean, I'm not. I never professed to be. Matter of fact, I'm still one of those on the fence going, nah, I don't think you can do it consistently anyway. I'm not blasting them anymore like I used to, because I finally got to the point where I went, hey, look, it can't hurt you. Okay, you can't be more random than random, right? But if there's some folks out there who really believe that they can influence those dice just enough, I really think this strategy is for you guys. I really, really do. And that's really why I created it. I probably won't take this strategy to the casino myself. Ain't that weird? I created a strategy for other types of folks and not necessarily for me. Doesn't mean I never will play it, but I really didn't create it to be a go-to for me, even though I believe for a DI, it could be a go-to for them, okay? So that's why I created it. I created it to create, and like I've said a long time ago, all these YouTube channels going, Jeff, Dylan, Waylon, George C.Y., I mean, Point on Craps, I mean, there's tons of folks. And when you watch them, it just causes your creative juices to flow, and I'm happy about that. I haven't tried to be creative, like I said, in 20 flipping years. And so it's a good thing, okay? Now, I know some folks aren't going to like the strategy. You might have to have too much bankroll right there at the beginning. It's a little risky, and it is, Okay, it's just as you roll it out, it gets safer and safer and safer. I know you don't understand that, but it actually does. So I put a lot of thought into this thing. So I just want to let folks know I understand your thoughts. Ken is still safe. Ken is still conservative. I'm the same Ken, and I have the same beliefs as I always have. And I know it's sort of freaking people out that I created something like this. And I get it. So I'm hoping I put that to rest, and now you know why I actually created it, okay? Now, what I would like to do today is get over to the table, and I want to break it down a little bit more. Not necessarily a rollout. I'm going to do that in a day or two where I'm actually going to try to break this thing, if I can. But today I just want to go through the moves again, because I have a card counting play, how I card count, and I'll have to explain that again when I get over there, because you go down and you go up in numbers that tells you what to do. I think that's throwing people off a little bit. I think another thing that's throwing people off a little bit is that 6 and 8, and I want to explain that too. But I want to go over there and dissect it a little bit for you the best that I can. And so if there's any misunderstandings about the system, I want you to either ask me or watch this and let me try to clarify some things. Also, if there's anybody out there, now I don't call people and say, please run my strategy. I never have. I've not been a person to do that. I'm the person that you ask me to run your strategy, and I'll be glad to do it. But if there's any DIs out there, and whether you're subscribed to me or not, take a look at it, and if you want to play it, give me feedback. I would much, much appreciate it. Okay? So, I'm going to quit talking. Let's go over and dissect the AMC 117, and let's just go ahead and get to it. All right, everybody, we're over here at the table, and what I want to do is really just sort of clarify exactly how I do what I do. And the most important thing, I think, is the card counting part. The 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 to 0 to plus 1, 2, 3, 4. I just want to make sure you understand that. I want to also cover the martingale steps. It's a little mini martingale. It's a 3-step martingale. But the way that I do things up here is going to affect how much of this I actually have to use. Okay? So, let's start out with what is the AMC 117. It's a little bit of acronym with some phone numbers. So, it stands for Automatic Martingale Card Counting Across System. That's what all that stands for, okay? And so I want to cover the 6 and the 8. I want to cover if you have to make these go up because of table minimums. So I want to cover several things. But the biggest thing that I want you guys to know is the card counting part. Card counting part. Okay. So here's our first initial 64 across. Okay, perfect. All right, so when you're here, you start at 6. Why 6? Because there's 6 box numbers. Okay, we haven't won any money, so we're starting at 6. Okay, let's say we get a hit. Let's say it's on the 6. 14 bucks. Okay, now what? You come from 6, 1 hit, now you come to 5. Easy peasy, right? Then you hit, let's say, the 8. They pay you $14. 6, down to 5, down to 4. Why 4? Because you've won 2 here. So I don't have to cover this 64 now. If I 7 out now, I don't have to start at this $75 level anymore. Now it's going to be 40, 40, 40. And cap your, we'll talk about 6 and 8, but 40 across, okay? But let's continue. Let's say now you get another hit. And let's say it's the 5. 14. Now you're down to 3. 6, 5, 4, 3. And now let's say the 9 hits, and we need to talk about something. The 9 hits. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. But notice, the 9 and the 5 have been hit. Now, it doesn't matter if the 5's hit twice, the 9's hit twice. These, generally, they're 3-2 bets, even though they're paying 7-5, okay? But because of this extra bonus on here, once you have 2 of them hit, you can come down an extra step. They look like this. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, but it's a 5 and 9, so I can come down an extra one, 1. So I can be at 1 right here. So now what's the importance of that? If I 7 out now, I can just start back out at base. I can start over. I don't have to get into the second step of the martingale. I want to stay away from these 2 stacks as much as possible. Okay? Now, basically, it's this. Your initial 64. If you get 1 hit, you're down from 6 to 5. If you get hit with a 0.7, it's going to be now 50-50, 60-60, 50-50. Okay, we'll talk about the 6 and 8 in a minute. But let's say you got 2 hits instead. 6, 5, 4. Now you can, because these are $10 units. Now you go 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. And again, we'll talk about the 6 and 8, what to do with them. Okay? 6, 5, 4, 3. 30 across. Another hit, 2. I'd go 25 across. Do a little bit higher if you're going to tweak, a little bit higher so you win extra money when you hit that level. All right. I think everybody understands that concept. Now let's talk about the 10 and the 4s and plus money. Plus money. So we're 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. But I have the 5 and 9 hit too. So that's like 2 halves. So now I can drop to 1. All right. Understand that on the 5 and 9. Or you can just count it if you want to as 1s. And you'll just make that much more money. There's nothing wrong with that. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now let's say the 10 hits. And don't quite pay 2 to 1 because they're a place bet. You can't buy a bet at $10. They'll pay you 18, but I'm going to count that as 2 rungs down of the ladder. Okay? So, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. 10s and 4s count 2. 1, 0. I am now at 0. Why am I at 0? Because I've basically won $60. I've won 6 of these units. I'm at 0. So if the 0.7 comes now, okay, I've racked this, but now I have it to put it back. I don't have to get into these money here. I'm at 0. So I think we understand that. Now let's continue on. What if we're at 0 and now the 4 hits? Remember, our 4s and 10s count 2. So I'm at 0 plus 1 plus 2. Now let's say the 7 comes. Now what do? You can do a couple of things. Obviously, you're racking all the money anyway. But when you lose, again, you only have to go back down to base. You've covered base. But you got 2 extra units here. So this is what I do. I replace my 64. And I'm going to use the plus 2 this way. I'm going to go, I always start at 6. Every time I put base back, you start at 6. But I'm at plus 2. So now I get to go 6, 5, 4. Automatically. So automatically, I don't have to start at the highest level. I start at 4. If I was plus 3, I could start at 3. If I was plus 4, I could drop it all the way down to 2. How do I do that? If I'm plus 4, obviously I start over at 6 with the base. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I get to start down here at 2. I'm nowhere near this up here. Okay, so the closer when you put your base up, the closer you can be down to this 3, 2, 1 level. If you lose on that 0.7, the better off you are. Okay, now let's say you're like John and over at Pro Craps, and he likes to press. Fine. If you're at a plus 4, okay, and you want to start at 6, you don't want to start at 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Maybe you would rather start at 6 when you reset, and you want to use that plus 4 to press some of these. You've got 4 units to press. Go ahead and press them. But you have to start at 6 now because you're using them. Does that make sense? If you're going to use that plus money to press, then you always have to start out at 6. So it's A. If you're at plus 4, you reset. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You only start at 2 on this rungs of the ladder. Or you use it to press and you start over at 6. Depends on how you want to use that plus money. Okay? Very, very simple. 6 to 0 to plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. I got up to plus 15 once. And boy, does that give you options there. Okay? So that's really it in a nutshell. Now, let's talk about the 6s and the 8s. John, again, at Pro Craps, I watched, what does that channel? Casino Gaming Network, Casino Gaming TV, I think. I'm sorry, my brain's foggy right at the moment, but over on his new live where he does live, and a lot of other people are going to do live over on that gaming channel TV, something like that. Anyway, he was saying that he's going to try this tonight or tomorrow night. And of course, he's going to try to bust it. And I'm glad he is. I hope everybody that's dice influencers try this strategy and try to bust it and let me know what's going on. But he wants to round these 6 and 8s. Fine, you can. As long as you don't round them too much so you don't affect these 2 steps of the martingale. This is one reason why my first step is 10, 10, 12, 12, 10, 10. Okay, 64 across. Technically, if I lose at that level, all I have to do is go 60. 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60. Well, I went ahead and went up to 75, 75, 75, 78, 78, 75, and 75. Why did I do that? Because I am over the 60. So now when I get that one hit, and then I get to come back down to base, I get to win extra money. Okay, so John says he wants to do this to a 90 instead. Nothing wrong with that. You surely can. You'll see it really won't affect this because we're so high up here. Okay, so he goes 75, 75, 90, 90, 75, 75. Again, if he gets hit here, he wins extra money. All right, so what is 75? It's like mine with the 78 is $456. This comes up to, $486. Ain't no big deal. All I got to do is cover 486, 66, 56, however you want to play that 6 and 8. That's okay. That's why I'm at 500 here. Okay, if I hit a 500 on any one of these, of course, the 6 and 8 are 600. If I hit any one of those, I get to recruit this, all of that, plus profit, and then I get to start over at base. And it'll be that same way no matter what. Okay, so feel free to make the 6 and 8 any way you want to, up or down a little bit. Don't go crazy. but everything else will hold true on these steps of the martingale. Okay. And remember, the lower you are on the rungs of the ladder, 6 to 5 to 4 to 3, the less money you have to get in here. If I'm at 3, I don't have to pick up 30 of that 75, 30 of that, 30 of that. 30. I'm half as much money. Well, if I'm half as much money there, my back line of that martingale is going to be half, saving me hundreds and hundreds of dollars just by getting some hits and getting down from 6 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, or even into plus money. Okay, so now I hope you understand the 6 and the 8. Now, one last thing. Just George emailed me, and he was saying, of course, there's some places where you have to go 15 or 25 minimums. Well, you're going to have, this back end's going to climb on you. If you double this, this is going to be double. If you double this, this doubles, that doubles. But I guess I'm starting with $3,720. You know, if you got that kind of bankroll, go ahead, pump it up double. You know, you can make that 128. You can make that 8 or 900 or whatever, and then you can make this 6,000 if you want to. That's fine. If you got the bankroll to do it, just adjust accordingly. You adjust it based on your initial 64 across or whatever your minimum on the across is. Adjust these so that you win at any hit. You win it all. If you get back here, you adjust it. That one hit here picks up this one and this one. Go back to base. Okay? That's it, y'all. I mean, that is it in a nutshell. I don't want to make it any harder than that because it's not. You just have to keep up with the count. Okay? Now, you're going to be sitting there on the rail. They're just going to be paying you. But you have to sit here and go 6. Okay. Just won that one. 5. Won that one. 4. Won that one. 3. Oh, I lost. Okay. Now I'm going to go 30, 30, 30, 30. I got it. Okay. Once you win that, you're coming back to base. You start at 6 again. You're going to have to keep that in your head and not get lost, especially when you get into plus money. When you get into plus money and you come back to base, being able to go, oh, that's plus 2. So that's 6, 5, 4. And you start at 4. You got to keep that run. And you keep it running all the time. It never breaks. This is continual until you quit the session. It just continues. Okay? Over and over and over. Those counts, 6 to 2, to plus 1. And you just got to keep that running count all the time. Okay? Now, if you can't, or you try it, or you find it's hard to keep up with it, in your rack at the table, throw some 1s over here. Okay? You're 6. No, you hit 1. Slide that over. 4, 3, 2, whatever. Slide them over. It lets you know where you're at in case you forget. But again, if you don't remember to do the slide, you're going to be in the same boat. So you're going to have to learn to be able to keep up with that count. Just like in blackjack, except blackjack is 1,000 times harder to keep up with. This should be easy. 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 to plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. You get hit, reset, and come down to where you need to be. Roll the dice. That's it, y'all. It's no harder than that. I appreciate John. He said he was going to try to bust this and roll this out in the next night or two. I'm looking forward to that. Probably tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to roll this out to try to bust it. That's what you do with new strategies. You try to bust the damn thing. And I'm sure I will sooner or later. But hopefully when that happens, I'm not on the 6 martingale. I'm down here to the 20s, and this is lower. And plus I've won a bunch of money, so it won't be as hurtful. This whole thing is designed to get less and less and less hurtful as you play. Okay, but John, thank you in advance for doing that. I know you don't like doing people's strategies, but I appreciate you doing this one. And any of you dice setters out there, dice influencers out there, because I designed this for you. Just like I said in the opening, I really designed it more for you than me. And so anybody out there, you know, Waylon, especially Waylon, if you're listening to me, go ahead. I know Dialing Sets, George, heck, I don't even know half of y'all guys set. And so any one of you want to run that strategy, please do. I'm not going to ask you to do it because I just don't ask people. I'm the one that runs strategies for people, right? But if you want to, and you do it, whether it's on camera or not, let me know. Please let me know the outcome. I would appreciate that very, very much. So that's it for tonight. I hope this set everything straight between my opening and this, that it clarifies things. If you have a specific question about it or something you still don't understand, please, please, please let me know and I'll try to clarify it for you. All right, so until next time, y'all, I appreciate you. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing, but the best thing that you can do for me, as always, is share this video. Share this video to anybody that you think this channel will help. So until the next time, y'all, be great.